Okay, hi guys. Hopefully I'm sounding a bit better by now. But today is a nice simple one. We're just gonna go through the tests that you have written in the past 2 weeks, just going through the memos nice and quickly. The memos will be available to you on the Google Drive. But I'm gonna talk you through them just in case there's anything that is not super clear. Okay, so the first one is the one you wrote last week on the respiratory system. Respiratory system. The first thing is a label diagram of your respiratory tract. The first thing you've got is your larynx. You can also call it your voice box, your trachea or your windpipe. Then you've got your bronchus. This is where your trachea splits into two branches here. Then you've got your lung, your intercostal muscles over here. Some of you might call it a rib, but it is definitely pointing to the muscles in between your ribs here. Then you've got your diaphragm and you've got your alveoli, little bags over there. Okay. Then the first question was, what is the difference between breathing and respiration? So the first thing we have to do is remember that breathing is the physical act, while respiration is the chemical process of like converting these gases and the nutrients in your body into energy. So yeah, breathing is the physical act of inhaling or exhaling air through your lungs, while respiration is a chemical process that involves the exchange of gases between the lungs, blood, and body's cells. Okay, so just the big thing here is to remember that the breathing is physical while respiration is a chemical process. Using what you know about particle theory, explain how oxygen diffuses from an air sac into the blood. So diffusion is just basically the process. It's a physical process where particles move from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration in an effort to sort of balance out where everything is, so that everywhere has the exact same amount. But in a system like this, you're constantly going to have higher concentrations of oxygen entering the lungs. So the air outside that you breathe in has a higher concentration of oxygen than the blood that is being carried to the lungs in your alveoli, or the capillaries in your alveoli. So when the air enters your alveoli, the oxygen moves from high concentration in the little air sacs, your alveoli, into your capillaries, into the area of low concentration where oxygen is found at a lower concentration in your blood. And in that way, the oxygen is moving from the air into your blood. The opposite is true for carbon dioxide, which would be found in a higher concentration in your blood and would be moving to an area of lower concentration, which would be the air sacs and eventually into the air around you. Then we asked you to complete the equation for the process of respiration, where we've got glucose here combining with oxygen to form water and carbon dioxide. You could also have, you can't really have added energy because it's not necessarily a physical product that you're forming. But I'll have a look at what you've done and then give you a mark maybe for energy. Describe the effect that increased activity has on the following aspects of your body, and importantly, why the process is taking place. Okay, so for the heart, you know that the heart rate will increase to ensure that the oxygen-rich blood reaches your muscles during periods of increased activity. And the rate of breathing, increases to ensure that carbon dioxide in your blood is removed and replaced with the oxygen your body needs to fuel respiration in your cells during periods of increased activity. What is the negative effect of the following components of cigarettes? Carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide actually bonds to hemoglobin, much like oxygen or carbon dioxide would, but it has what's called a higher affinity to carbon monoxide, which means it is harder for that hemoglobin to let go of the carbon monoxide molecule when it needs to. So your body just becomes saturated with this carbon monoxide, and this is why carbon monoxide poisoning is so dangerous. You your body finds it really hard to let go of carbon monoxide, like it would let go of carbon dioxide, to allow your body to reabsorb oxygen. And then nicotine, it has a whole lot of terrible effects on your body, but the big thing that is highlighted in your book is that it is highly addictive. Okay, so that is your first test. I hope it went well. Otherwise, I hope you can learn from all your mistakes, and when you see this again at the end of the year, it doesn't look new or confusing to you. But please send me an email if there's anything that you still are not sure about. Moving on to chapter 5's test on reproduction. So first of all, I asked what's the difference between a sperm cell and an egg cell. First of all, your egg cells are much larger than most cells, and especially sperm cells in your body, because they need to have space for food stores in their cytoplasm. Then your sperm cell is much smaller than other cells, especially the egg cell, and it has a long tail that it can use for swimming, for like relocation. Then what is the structure formed when the sperm cell fuses with an egg cell? And that's a zygote right in the beginning. That's at the point of fertilization. Complete the diagram here of the male reproductive organ. You've got your sperm duct and your testes. Okay. What part of the male reproductive system carries out the following functions? What makes the sperm? That is your testes. And what makes a sugary fluid for sperm to swim in? And that is your seminal vesicle over here. Okay. Complete the diagram of the female reproductive system. We've got our ovary and we've got our uterus over here. What part of the female reproductive system carries out the following functions? We've got what makes the egg cells. It doesn't necessarily make the egg cells, but it stores the egg cells, and that's your ovary. Where does fertilization happen? And that happens in the oviduct, where the zygote develops into a baby. You could say the uterus. I would have also accepted your uterus lining over here. If the egg cell is not fertilized after an ovarian cycle, the uterus lining is lost through the vagina and regrown in preparation for the next ovarian cycle. What is this process called? Menstruation. In which part of the body does the growing embryo develop? Your uterus. To grow and develop, the embryo needs more food. A special organ develops that allows it to obtain food and oxygen from the mother's blood. This organ is the placenta. The embryo is attached to the placenta by the umbilical cord. Okay, double cord here, but don't worry. The effects, or what effects does nicotine have on the male and females when pregnant or not pregnant? Female reproductive system. Okay. Men who smoke produce their sperm. Women who smoke before pregnancy have a harder time of getting pregnant, and when they smoke during pregnancy, it often has a lot of side effects to the pregnancy, and it can be dangerous to the baby. There's a whole list of these in your book. These are just the ones that pertain most to what's going on to the reproductive systems. Okay. And that is it, guys. I hope you guys enjoy your break. I will be uploading videos and stuff for you for next term. But right now we are then technically finished with biology, and we will be starting with chemistry when you get back. Okay. Enjoy your break, and yeah, see you then.